Su Xinning really likes this life, without a heavy identity or suffocating mission. What she feels the most is the love from her family and the freedom of life. Unfortunately, the peaceful and beautiful life was disrupted by the arrival of an annoying ghost. Why is there him everywhere? Is he sent by the emperor to supervise and urge her? Chapter 1. The day of chicken flying and dog jumping begins. You are listening at novel.Audio. Brother Long. With the rooster's hysterical roar, a new day is about to begin. Su Xinning was dreaming of drinking palace jade liquor when the hissing called her soul back. Rubbing my swollen head, smacking my lips, the taste of the palace jade liquor seemed to have not dissipated yet, and the upper and lower eyelids were tightly glued together, making it difficult to separate. These despicable things, even if they are so carefree every day, they deserve to be deceived by that despicable dragon brother. With such skills, why not go to heaven and rub that dragon brother on the ground? A wicked thing should be locked up against a wicked thing. It seems like I haven't eaten chicken for a long time. How about stewing chicken soup today? Su Xinning licked her mouth a few more times. Grandma's stewed chicken soup is the most delicious. If she added some goji berries and red dates inside big supplement. No one will object to Su Xinning's demands in this family. She is the most authoritative pet in the family. Su Xinning currently lives in Shujia village. Shujia village is not big, and the team leader is Comrade Yang Chunqin, who is wise, fierce, hardworking, and never talks big, also known as Su Xinning's mother. Comrade Yang Chunqin is the only female captain of the Red Star Commune. When it comes to this, Su Xinning feels immensely proud that even her father, who is the director of the County Public Security Bureau, cannot match it. Comrade Su Yaozu, the father of Su Xinning, used to be a regimental commander in the army. Su Xinning and his companions used to follow Su Yaozu in the army, and it can be said that Su Xinning was born and raised in the army. If it weren't for Su Yaozu being injured and retreating to his place while carrying out his mission, perhaps Su Xinning would still be living in the army compound. However, Su Yaozu's retreat to the local area also has some connection with Su Xinning. Due to Su Yaozu's work, Su Xinning was almost killed by bad guys who retaliated and held him hostage. It was also during that time that Su Xinning seemed to have opened Pandora's magic box, not only remembering all the memories of her past life, but also remembering some things she had in Yang Chunqin's belly. After Su Xinning was rescued, her temperament changed greatly. Sometimes, in the eyes of outsiders, she seemed to be a bit talkative, which made Su Yaozu and Yang Chunqin worried. They thought that Su Xinning must have been scared out of sorts and took her to the military hospital for treatment, but the doctors couldn't find out why. The military compound is actually quite mixed, and those family members come from all over the country, their mouths broken. Su Yaozu and Yang Chunqin had 3 children. The eldest Su Zishi, the second Su Xinning, and the third Su Zerue. Su Xinning is the only girl in the family, good-looking, well-behaved, and being favored is inevitable. Brother Su Zishi has long inherited his father's legacy and joined the army. The third child, Su Zerue, is 6 years younger than Su Xinning. He is always a headache-inducing child in the rebellious period. Since he can walk, he has been going to the house to expose tiles, and wearing open-crotch pants, he has the ability to lead a group of children to cause trouble with him. Since having him, the family has been jumping around every day. Su Xinning has a small bamboo horse in the army courtyard, and everyone is rumoring that they have been arranged for a doll wedding. However, Su Xinning himself is not aware of this, and even Su Yaozu and Yang Chunqin are confused, not knowing who ordered this doll wedding. After Su Xinning was rescued, the little bamboo horse joined the army, and Su Xinning had never seen him again. People in the courtyard also reported that Su Xinning was despised by the little bamboo horse. Nonsense. However, drooling can really drown people, and Su Xinning's reputation has been truly damaged. This made the beloved female demon Su Yaozu and Yang Chunqin unable to resist. They believed that Su Xinning's illness was also closely related to these rumors, so they retreated to the place through their injuries. The future is no more important than the health of children. Young Chen is a very strong and talented leader who has worked for many years as a member of the Women's Federation in the military compound. When he returned to Shujia village, he happened to encounter the election team leader. Young Chen volunteered to stand in front of the whole village and gave a passionate speech, which aroused the emotions of the whole village as never before. In the end, Comrade Young Chen was sent to the position of team leader, and they didn't understand why they made Young Chen the team leader until the next day. For a long time, the old and young men in the village had doubted life more than once, and tried many times to snatch the position of the team leader back from the hands of Young Chen, a woman. However, they were awakened by reality before taking any action, because Young Chen, a woman who is not only tiger, but also has good abilities. Since she became the team leader, the village has really been developing in a positive direction. It has been 2 years since Su Xinning and his family returned to their hometown. In the eyes of Su Yaozu and Yang Chen, their decision was immensely correct, as their precious daughter seemed to have recovered from her illness. The Su family is a relatively open-minded family, and they separated at a very early age. As Su Yaozu is the eldest, the elderly in the family follow him. Before, when their family was with the army, they wanted to pick up the old man and his wife, but the old man didn't want to leave his hometown. Su Yaozu sent them a monthly allowance. "Mom, I want to eat eggs." Su Laosan opened his eyes and started acting like a demon again. "Eat and eat, you know how to eat. There's sweet potato soup in the clay jar. Hurry up and go to school. If you fail the exam again these days, see how I'll beat you." Yang Chuanshin's threatening voice came in. "Mom, I heard that 1 deep fried dough sticks and 2 eggs can get 100 points. Otherwise, I would eat these every morning. Maybe I would often get 100 points later. Are you still dreaming? I see your skin is itching. Ah, it hurts. It hurts so much, Young Chen, am I your own? Do you also know that you are not biological? You were picked up by us in the pit, you are just a stinky and hard fecal egg. Dad, help. Dad, milk, help. I killed someone, Young Chen killed someone. Young Chen is my stepmother. Little rabbit, you've been speaking without any restraint since early morning. I think you just owe me a beating, Grandpa roared angrily. The elderly are the ones who can't listen to death, especially in the early morning. The day of Su Jiaji's flying dog jumping has officially begun. Su Xinning woke up with her eyes closed, reached out to touch the clothes and pants placed by the bed, put them on, and skillfully knitted her 2 thick and long braids. When she reached the staircase, she couldn't help but open her eyes. Did the girl wake up? Oh, why are you still closing your eyes when you go down the stairs? Did Xiaorui wake you up with such a loud voice? Stinky guy just deserves to be beaten. Mrs. Su came over with heartache and took Su Xinning's hand. Mrs. Su is different from the old ladies in the village. They both value men over women, but Mrs. Su particularly likes the girls at home. Not only the girls at home, but Mrs. Su never teases her daughter. Law. She thinks that if even women don't love women, who can she pray for to cherish them? Chapter 2. Su Laosan. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Milk. Su Xinning opened her eyes and grabbed the old lady's arm with her backhand, swaying coquettishly a few times. Mrs. Su loves her granddaughter's delicate demeanor the most. She feels good when she sees her delicate and soft demeanor. When walking stairs, you still need to be careful. If you step out of the way, it's not a joke. I know now, Grandma. My daughter is so good. The little old lady patted the hand that Su Xinning was holding on her arm with satisfaction. At that moment, Yang Chen was still angrily scolding Su Laosan, with his teeth and claws wide open. The whole village could hear him with a loud voice. As soon as he turned his head and saw Su Xinning downstairs, he immediately showed a smiling face and spoke in a soft and unnatural voice, as if afraid of startling Su Xinning. Su Xinning was surprised by the speed at which her own mother changed her face, and she also felt very sorry. She knew that her mother was scared by something a few years ago, and blamed herself for being too surprised to remember things from a past life and causing her family to be shocked by her personality change. Her family's love for her is deeply ingrained in Su Xinning's heart. "Are you up now? Did Mom's loud voice wake you up?" Yang Chunqin symbolically helped Su Xinning tidy up her clothes and asked. Su Laosan saw his sister go downstairs and knew that his plan was over. He ran over and joked, "Sister, did you sleep well last night? You look pretty good." Su Laosan loves his own sister the most. She is good-looking, has a good temper, and even takes special care of herself. As long as his sister is around, no matter how big a mistake he makes, his parents will endure not hitting him because they are afraid of startling her. Su Xinning is Su Laosan's biggest reliance and support in this family. However, on the other hand, Su Laosan is also genuinely good to Su Xinning. When there is something good, the first person will think of this sister, and protecting her is like protecting her eyes. Others may say he hit him, but whenever it comes to Su Xinning, he will do his best. "You little brat, do you still know how you look?" Su Xinning couldn't help but laugh out loud. He knows what to do, what can't he do? He messes up the first place, Yang Chunqin interjected. "Mom, you are too vulgar. Why are you always farting? You are the captain, and your words and deeds are the facade of our team." Su Laosan is very stiff at the moment, and roast. "Little rabbit." Yang Chunqin made a gesture to Su Laosan, who shrank his neck and secretly glanced at Su Xinning. He took a few steps back and made a posture of holding his head high and chest high towards Yang Chunqin. His sister is here. How can his mother roar? "Sister, yesterday's wild fruits were delicious, weren't they? If you like them, I'll go pick them after school today." Yang Chunqin couldn't beat Su Laosan anymore, so she went to the kitchen in a lively manner. Yang Chunqin is hard-working, and there is no waste of time in her life. Every day, she watches her busy in and out, and her hands and feet are also fast. She never has time, as if she doesn't know how to feel tired. In terms of diligence, Old Lady Su and Yang Chunqin have some competition, but Old Lady Su is not talkative and knows how to bury her head in work. She is skilled both at home and abroad. Is there a sharp contrast in personality between Mrs. Su and Yang Chunqin? Perhaps it was because Mrs. Su didn't like to talk too much, so she immediately took a liking to Yang Chunqin when selecting a wife for Su Yaozu. Watching Yang Chunqin go to the kitchen, Mrs. Su quickly went to feed the chickens and ducks, and tidy up the livestock nest. "After school, go home. Don't you feel embarrassed if you keep failing this exam?" "What's so embarrassing about it? It's much worse than me in the exam, sister. Let me tell you, there are people in our class who take the zero-duck-egg exam." Su Laosan looked very embarrassed, thinking that he had scored 100 points. "Zero-duck eggs." Su Laosan nodded gloating. "It's too dangerous. Fortunately, Mom didn't cook eggs for you today, otherwise you might have been the one who got zero-duck eggs." Su Xinning said maliciously and crossed Su Laosan's way to wash his face and brush his teeth. Su Laosan was taken aback for a moment. What does this zero-duck egg have to do with whether he boiled eggs to eat today? Sister, what do you mean?" Su Laosan chased after him and asked. Su Xinning had a wicked smile on her face and ignored Su Laosan. She squeezed the toothpaste that no longer had the original pattern visible, and it took a lot of effort to squeeze out the remaining residue. "Dad, we're out of toothpaste," Su Xinning called out to Su Yaozu. "Is it gone? How do I remember if I just bought it?" Yang Chunqin muttered. "Got it, I'll bring it back after work today," Su Yaozu replied. Is there no toothpaste left? Sister, sister, give it to me quickly. Su Laosan reached out excitedly to take it. Su Laosan, this is our family's public property. You are not allowed to secretly sell it and put it in your own pocket, Su Xinning joked. Su Zhaoguo, the third son of the Su family, is a small financial fanatic. As long as he can turn money into something, he is always the most proactive one. In order to sell money, the foolish things he once did can make people laugh and cry. For example, the aluminum pot that has been used at home for many years was accidentally burned dry by Su Yaozu, and it can no longer be found the next day. For example, Su Xinning's plastic sandals also broke a bar and disappeared without a trace. For example, for a period of time, Su Laosan actively squeezed toothpaste for his entire family every day. For example, the auto repair shop in the military compound used to be his favorite place to stay, chasing people every day to ask if it was abandoned. It's easy to say, it's easy to say. When I sell the money, I'll buy my sister a headscarf. Su Laosan took out a toothpaste shell, like a mouse getting rice, and his big white teeth popped out. When Mrs. Su cleaned up her livestock and came back to brush her teeth, she couldn't find the toothpaste and asked, "Where's the toothpaste at home?" "Milk, please wait. Your little grandson, I can do whatever it takes for you to use toothpaste." Su Laosan was very experienced in cutting open the toothpaste can and then using the old lady's toothbrush to sweep it. The last stubborn residue of the toothpaste was also swept away, and there was really no waste at all. Su Laosan's meal was like a war. After a few mouthfuls of congee, he ate 2 bowls of porridge. Then he ran and threw his school bag on his shoulder and went to school. Su Xinning is currently a barefoot doctor in the village, thanks to her memory of her past life. Su Xinning's past life was a princess of the imperial court, and she was also the only princess. Her mother was a modern medical doctor who traveled through the past, and it was the most common kind of dog blood plot that helped her father achieve his career and successfully ascend to the throne. The relationship between the father and the mother is as strong as gold, steadfast until death, a pair of people for a lifetime. The father and mother have 2 sons and a daughter. The eldest son is the crown prince, and the youngest son and Su Xinning are a pair of twins. Su Xinning was fascinated by medicine from a young age, so the mother passed on all her lifelong learning to her. The twin younger brother is quite peculiar. This person has been fascinated by Buddhism since childhood and was favored by a Taoist monk since birth. After 3 years old, he moved into a temple and has been wandering in his Buddhist paradise ever since. Chapter 3. Chen Family. You are listening at novel.Audio. After Su Xinning suddenly gained medical skills, young Chen and Su Yaozu were not surprised. They always knew that their daughter was not ordinary. In their hearts, Su Xinning was destined to be extraordinary from the moment she was born. The rainbow that day passed through their roof, which was particularly dazzling, with many unknown birds hovering on their roof. If it weren't for being in the military compound, it's uncertain what it would be like. Fortunately, this happened in modern times and was the most materialistic place, so Su Xinning's special attention was not particularly paid, and at most, she was secretly muttered by a few broken-mouthed family members in the courtyard. But young Chen and Su Yaozu know that their own daughter is special. She has been smarter than other people's children since childhood, and she is much more beautiful than other people's daughters. After Su Xinning regained her memory, she arrogantly adjusted Su Yaozu's body. There was no opposition, no questions, and only active cooperation. Under the mediation of Su Xinning, Su Yaozu's old injuries slowly disappeared. Even the injury that caused him to retire quickly recovered with Su Xinning's sneaky treatment. However, at that time, Su Xinning was particularly quiet, as if the time difference had not been reversed, and people were still very confused, often doubting their own lives. Because of this, Su Xinning made young Chen and Su Yaozu very worried. Misunderstandings also arose. When Su Yaozu was transferred to the local area, Su Xinning happened to have graduated from high school. In order to prevent his precious daughter from working hard, he helped her secure the job of a barefoot doctor. Anyway, they are very confident that there is probably no area that can have better medical skills than their daughter, but they also don't want others to know because they are afraid that their precious daughter will work hard. After finishing breakfast, Su Yaozu pushed his beloved BMW, a bicycle made up of parts flipped back from the purchasing station combined with Comrades Su Yaozu's efforts, to work. The Chen family is separated by a wall from the Su family. Speaking of the deep connection between the Chen family and the Su family, for all, the Chen family is an outsider. After settling in the Su family village, they became neighbors and had a particularly good relationship with Su Xinning's great-grandfather. Therefore, when Su Xinning's grandfather was very young, he arranged for him to marry Chen's daughter as a child. Unfortunately, things are unpredictable, and the Chen family has never had children except for this daughter. When the child grew up, they had plans to hire a son.in.law in order to continue to grow. It is impossible for the Su family to let their own son become a son.in.law. How can they raise their heads in the Su family village if they become a son.in.law? After discussion between the two families, the marriage between the two children turned out to be a mystery. This matter is actually very uncomfortable in Grandpa Su Xinning's heart. You should know that he knew Chen's younger sister was his future daughter.in.law very early on, so he has been taking good care of his little daughter.in.law since he can remember. This suddenly recognized little daughter.in.law cannot become his daughter.in.law anymore, it is impossible without any ideas. Because of this, the relationship between the Chen and Su families has always been quite strained. Su Xinning's grandmother is particularly concerned about Su Xinning's grandfather's attitude towards the Chen family's grandmother. Since she married in, she has not treated the Chen family's grandmother well. But Chen's grandmother seemed to have lost her memory, occasionally stirring up the Su family's atmosphere like a pester. Su didn't intervene well, perhaps disdainfully, but Su was very concerned. At this moment, Mrs. Chen was lying on the wall between the Chen and Su families, not knowing what she wanted. When she saw Su Yaozu going to work, she called out, "Yaozu, have you gone to work?" Su Yaozu was startled by the sudden sound. "Auntie, why are you lying here again? Be careful when I see you hitting you with a big broom. You're just being careful, but your yard is getting better and better. Our family's Ping is just too busy, and the broom star at home is lazy. I have to take care of planting a vegetable in the yard." Glass shards were inserted into the walls of the yard to prevent thieves, actually to prevent Old Lady Chen from leaning against the wall, but Old Lady Chen had become accustomed to spying on the Su family. After inserting the glass shards for a few days, she made a hole again. "Yaozu, you are a capable person. Now that you have become the director of the Public Security Bureau, are you the boss? You said that our family's Ping was not lucky enough to join the army with you back then. If he hadn't retired so early, perhaps your director would have been his." Su Yaozu didn't want to hear Chen Lao Tai's cliché, and without a reply, he pushed his bicycle out. Yang Chunqin heard Old Lady Chen lying on the wall again, making a noise when she left the yard. "Auntie, why don't you change your old habit? If it's because of your sabotage, who will be the one who attracts thieves to our family one day?" Yang Chunqin is from Mrs. Su's country, and as a woman, she can understand Mrs. Su's psychology very well. She hates Mrs. Chen's strange way of doing things. Inserting glass debris on the wall was Yang Chunqin's decision, but Mrs. Chen is like a piece of candy, always going her own way. Looking at the Su family's life on the wall seems to be the greatest pleasure in her life. However, although Yang Chunqin dislikes Chen Lao Tai, her relationship with Chen Ping's wife Wang Ying is still good. Chen Ping and Su Yaozu grew up together without any influence from their elders, and later joined the military together. Their relationship has always been good. Chen Ping's ex-wife passed away during childbirth, but later saved his current wife Wang Ying during a mission. They are considered the kind of hero who saved the beauty and sparked love. After remarriage, Chen Ping and Wang Ying also lived in the military compound. Due to the relationship between the two men, Yang Chunqin and Wang Ying naturally got closer. Moreover, Wang Ying had a gentle temperament and was very measured in his words and actions. Chen Ping retired a few years ago and returned to his hometown, and his family also returned to live in the village. Yao Zu's family, I heard that our village is going to have a power call. What does the electrician look like? Something more convenient than kerosene lamps, pulling a rope in the dark can make the whole room light up. Is there such a good thing? You'll know then. Yang Chunqin, too lazy to talk to old lady Chen, turned around and entered the hall. She had too much to do today, so she didn't have time to deal with this out-of-sync old lady. Yaozu's wife, can you tell me more? Oh my! Why are you pulling my pants, little bunny? Mrs. Chen roared before finishing her sentence. Little bunny, I just want to wear these pants comfortably. You'll have to pull them out for me. They're the sons of the black sheep. In just a moment, the next door heard screams and cries of children, mixed with the splashing and screaming of chickens, ducks, and geese being startled. The sound was so loud. Chapter 4. Life. You are listening at novel.Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. Grabbing rice seeds. You are listening at novel.Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 6. Comrades in arms. You are listening at novel.Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 7. Big Horn. You are listening at novel.Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 8. Wang Zhaoguo. You are listening at novel.Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9. Old Lady Chen was hated. You are listening at novel.Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 10. Villagers. You are listening at novel.Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text.